Hey folks, ever seen two people you'd never expect to be friends, like a cat and a dog sharing a water bowl maybe? Or finding out your serious math teacher is also a secret rock star? Well, that was kind of like Donald Trump and Elon Musk, a former president, the Donald, a real estate mogul turned politician, and a super tech billionaire, the guy behind Tesla cars and SpaceX rockets. It was a friendship that made everyone, and I mean everyone, go, wait, what? Seriously, people were surprised. It was pretty big news back then. Their unexpected bromance was the talk of the town for quite a while, It was like, are they really pals, or is this some kind of elaborate prank? Their friendship seemed pretty solid for a bit, or so it appeared on the surface. Maybe they bonded over being, incredibly famous and incredibly rich. Perhaps they shared tips on how to get the most retweets or something. Or perhaps they just genuinely liked the enormous amount of attention they received when they were seen together. It was like watching two titans of industry and politics suddenly become best buddies. You'd see them at events. Maybe a quick handshake here, a supportive tweet there. It almost felt like a new power duo was forming, one that could really shake things up. People were fascinated, wondering what these two very powerful figures were cooking up together. It was a storyline straight out of a Hollywood movie, almost too wild to be true. But let's be real, folks. Both of these guys have pretty big personalities. Huge, you might even say, like Texas-sized personalities, if you catch my drift. And when you have two giant egos in one room or even on one internet platform, well, things can get a little crowded, a little intense, It's like putting two king-sized mattresses in a very, very small studio apartment. Eventually something's gotta give, or someone's gotta move out. Their shared interests might have brought them together initially, that's true, but their individual ambitions and, let's face it, their love for the spotlight were always lurking just beneath the surface, ready to cause a little bit of drama, or maybe a lot. It was a ticking time bomb of takes and counter-takes. So this surprising friendship, while it certainly grabbed headlines, always had that little question mark hanging over it. Was it a truly genuine connection, a meeting of minds, so to speak? Or was it more of a strategic alliance, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of deal? Or maybe, just maybe, it was a little bit of both, a complicated mix. It's like when your two loudest friends suddenly become inseparable best buds. It's a spectacle. It's going to be incredibly entertaining to watch from the sidelines. But you also secretly start a countdown timer in your head, wondering when the inevitable fireworks will begin. And folks, let me tell you, when they finally did begin, it was quite the show. A show that nobody wanted to miss, that's for sure. What started the billionaire brawl? So, what exactly happened? How did these two go from what looked like pals to very public enemies? It's the question everyone was asking, right? From friends to feuding just like that. Well, it all seemed to kick off with money, as many good juicy stories often do. Specifically, it was about a big, beautiful bill that former President Trump was super proud of. He was talking it up, going on and on about how great it was going to be for the country. You know how he gets when he's excited about something? It's always the best, the biggest, the most beautiful. He was probably expecting everyone, especially his allies, to jump on board and cheer him on. But that's not quite how it played out, not this time. Elon Musk, however, was definitely not a fan of this particular bill. Not even a little bit. He didn't just disagree quietly. Oh no, he went public with his feelings. He actually called Trump's big spending proposal a disgusting abomination. Ouch! That's a pretty strong word, abomination. Not exactly a gentle critique, is it? And he didn't stop there, folks. He warned that this bill would drive America into debt slavery. Talk about dramatic. It was like someone telling you your prized new haircut actually looks like a bird's nest. Elon clearly wasn't holding back his true feelings on this one, and he chose a very public forum to express them. He basically threw a verbal grenade right into the middle of Trump's victory lap. Now, former President Trump, as you can probably imagine, didn't take too kindly to this public criticism. He's not exactly known for shrugging off negative comments, especially from someone he considered a friend. He responded by stating that he was very disappointed with Elon. Now, disappointed might sound mild, like your dad when you don't finish your vegetables. But coming from Trump, especially about someone he'd previously praised, it's like a storm warning. It's that calm before the Twitter, or should I say X, storm really hits. He probably expected his buddy Elon to be cheering him on from the sidelines, not tearing down his big plans. This was a direct hit to his pride, and you know he wasn't going to let that slide. Then Elon, never one to back down from a fight, fired back on X, his own social media platform. He basically said that without him, Trump would have lost the election, Whoa, and that the Democrats would control the House and the Republicans would be trailing in the Senate. Talk about a major mic drop. That's like saying you're the only reason the band got famous. He even, get this, brought up the Epstein files, suggesting Trump was mentioned in them. It was a full-on social media brawl, with both sides throwing some seriously heavy digital punches. The internet practically exploded. Popcorn sales went through the roof, I'm telling you. Everyone was refreshing their feeds, wondering what would come next in this epic showdown. You know, when something this crazy and this public happens, the late-night comedians are going to have an absolute field day. And believe me, they did. It was like Christmas morning for joke writers everywhere. The material was just too good, too ripe, too perfectly set up to pass up. Every single show, from The Daily Show with Michael Costa to The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, jumped on it. It was the kind of news that practically writes its own punchlines. You almost don't have to do anything. The monologue jokes were flying faster than one of Elon's rockets. It was a comedy goldmine, and everyone was digging in with gusto. The writers' rooms must have been buzzing with excitement that day. I, your humble host of The Tonight Show, even got in on the action, of course. I mean, how could I not? It was the biggest story going. I said Trump and Elon have been brutally attacking each other all day. Seriously, their relationship went off the cliff faster than a self-driving Tesla. Get it? Tesla? Cliff? It's funny because it's true-ish, or at least it paints a funny picture. I also mentioned how quickly their friendship seemed to sour. I can't believe their relationship fell apart this fast. I mean, a week ago, they were all over each other like Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner at a Knicks game. You gotta keep it topical, folks. That's the key to good comedy. Stephen Colbert over on The Late Show called it a full-scale flame war. He also described them as the world's most famous besties having a major falling out, and he had a great line. So now Donald Trump is a Tesla owner who hates Elon Musk. He's never been more relatable. That one got a big laugh, I bet. Relatability is comedy gold. Michael Costa, guest hosting The Daily Show, hilariously termed the Feud World War douche, and he had a zinger about Musk's comment on the Epstein files, saying, "Of course Trump is in the Epstein files." That's like saying, "Guys, there are aliens in the X-Files." The jokes were sharp, they were pointed, and they were coming from all directions. Seth Meyers on Late Night also chimed in, pointing out the delicious irony of the situation. He said, "It's as clear as ever that neither of these guys really believed in anything." He also added, "Watching these guys destroy each other is both big and beautiful." A nice little callback to Trump's own words. And Jimmy Kimmel, over on Jimmy Kimmel Live, well, he was just happy for the distraction. He joked, "It's like coming down the stairs on Christmas morning and finding a second tree." He also quipped, "I feel bad for Trump lately. He's running out of friends. First, he lost Jeffrey Epstein, now Elon." The comedians really captured the absurdity, the drama, and the sheer entertainment value of it all. So, why did this particular fight, this clash of titans, get so much attention? I mean, politicians and billionaires argue sometimes that's not entirely new, right? But this was different. This was on a whole other level of public spectacle. It was like watching two larger-than-life superheroes, or maybe supervillains depending on your point of view, go head-to-head in an epic battle. Both Donald Trump and Elon Musk are absolute masters of getting attention, of dominating the news cycle. And when they aim that incredible skill directly at each other, it's like a supernova of news. It's just too big, too loud, and too dramatic to ignore. You simply have to watch. It was the kind of story that made you stop scrolling and say, "Oh, this is gonna be good." Think about it for a second. You have a former president of the United States, a man who completely rewrote the rules of how politics is covered. A guy who used social media like no one before him to build a massive following. And then on the other side, you have one of the richest, most talked about tech innovators in the entire world. A man who dreams of colonizing Mars and building electric cars for everyone. They both have these enormous global followings, millions and millions of people hanging on their every word or tweet or post on X. So when they clash, it's not just some private little squabble, it's a massive public spectacle that draws absolutely everyone in. It's like a global group chat where everyone has an opinion, plus, their fight was so incredibly public and so personal. They weren't just politely disagreeing on some obscure policy details, oh no. They were making it about each other, attacking each other's credibility and achievements. Elon saying Trump wouldn't have won the election without his help, that's a bold claim. Trump firing back that he was very disappointed in Elon, that's personal. It's like watching a celebrity breakup unfold in real time, but with potentially global implications. People love drama, especially when it involves incredibly famous people saying exactly what they think, with no filter. It's like the best or worst reality TV show, but with much, much higher stakes. Ultimately, this feud between Trump and Musk was like a spectacular car crash you just couldn't look away from. But a car crash with way more memes and way more hot takes online. It vividly demonstrates just how much power and influence these individuals wield, not just in their respective fields of politics and technology, but in shaping public conversation and dominating headlines. It also serves as a fascinating and somewhat amusing reminder that even the most powerful people on the planet can get into very public, very messy, and sometimes very childish arguments. It's a wild ride, folks, and everyone wanted a front row seat to see what unbelievable thing would happen next. And they'll probably make up and fight again before we know it.